In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Wispr Flow. If you don't know what Wispr Flow is, it is a speech-to-text app, but it is made with coders in mind. I'm going to show you all the different ways you can use this with coding in mind within your IDE, whether you are using Antigravity or VS Code, it doesn't matter. And you can use this for other things as well. If there are any tasks that require text-to-speech, then you can use this as well, because the best part is that it not only writes the text for you, it will make sure to format all the text. When you get the prompt that you need to give to the AI, or you're just writing some simple text and you say stuff like something like that, it will already be formatted and all the mistakes that you make while talking will also be fixed. So let's get started.
Okay, now I have a project open. So what I'm going to do is I have this, right? So let's say I wanted to do something, maybe tell it to change something or use one of the things that I already showed you. So for example, if you remember in the dictionary, we had this. So if I use the word MERN, it should change it to this. Okay, so I'll just use this. So tell me, is this a MERN project? So as you can see, it says, tell me, is this an MongoDB, Express, React, and Node project? Okay, rather than saying MERN like I said it. Okay, so this is how you use the dictionary, okay, to spell certain things out. Okay, if you said BTW, it would say by the way. Okay, for example, if I just literally said BTW, and it said by the way. So this is how you use that. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, which is snippets. So if I use this, my YouTube link, okay, so tell me, do you know my YouTube channel link? And as you can see, it is, instead of my YouTube link, putting in my YouTube link itself. So this is how you do that. So that's how snippets work. I'm gonna skip styles because I didn't really set it up. Neither do I feel like I have any kind of style examples. So I'm just gonna skip that one. But let's go to this one. So I'll just put in a prompt and show you what I can do with polish. So this is a simple prompt that I've written, but as you can see, it's not really precise. It's not really clean. It's not really even that good. But this says this is a merge stack project or not. Look at the client folder and the server folder and give me your answer. Okay. But I want to polish this. I want to make it sound good. I want to make it sound better. So I'm going to select all of this, and down here you will see this bar. Okay, if you hover over it, you can see that you have these different options. So these are the two predefined transform, and what you can do is select one of these, and by doing this you make it the default option. Okay, so mine is set to polish, and I'm just going to use this one for this example. So shortcut to choosing one or the other is Windows Alt 1 or Windows Alt 2 for the second option, and you can put in whatever shortcut keys you want, but I just want to show you that you can select it from here as well, or just press Windows Alt 1. Okay, and as you can see, it started polishing it.
Okay, it did polish it, as you can see, and I'll polish it again. And now you can see that it polished it again. And if you look at it, you can see that it changed it by adding a question mark at the end to make it a question. And it even formatted it. And now I'll show you another example.
Okay, so I just want to show you another example. So I put in this prompt, okay, but as you can see, it's just me typing certain things out to tell it to do certain things. I'm going to show you how you can use the polish transform. Okay, so select all of the prompt. My shortcut for this was Windows Alt and 1, but if you go here, you can see that you can just click this button and the option is set to polish. That's why it's working as the default one. So you can click this or just press Windows Alt 1 and it will polish this whole prompt for you. And now you can see it's saying that use the images provided to reproduce the different sections of the page exactly as shown in the images, create a loading screen as well, and then use Google Font since that is what is used in these images. Use Lucid React icons, use the images and videos in the public folder of the project for the different sections. Okay, so that's what it's doing. And now I'm actually going to show you with the other one, which is the prompt engineering one, and I'll actually use this. So if I go here, select prompt engineer, So just click this. So this time with the prompt engineering one, it is doing it line by line, which it should have done actually. That's actually what I wanted before. So it's saying use the provided images to reproduce each section. And by the way, if you're wondering why I did it like this is just more precise. Tell the AI that on every line, you can kind of separate every single thing that you wanted to do. For example, on the first one, it's separated this part, which is use the provided images to reproduce each section of the page exactly as shown. And then the second one is create a loading screen as well. Okay, and then it's use Google Fonts since it is what is used in the images. Okay, and then use Lucid React icons, use the images and videos in the public folder for the project for the corresponding sections. Okay, so this is how you use the transform. The next one is the sketchpad, and you can, I just show you. So let's say you wanted to put in a prompt to tell the AI to do something. Okay, so instead of typing it out or fixing it here in a small window, what you could do is go here and then click on open sketchpad. So it would open this, and you can just make this bigger and you can just put in the whole prompt here. You can also use this option right here to basically ask some kind of follow-up question as well if you feel comfortable typing, or you could just speak it in. For example, let's say I wanted to do, actually this is a good time to show you that when you speak with Wispr Flow, you can make mistakes trying to speak and it will just cut out all the clutter like you know what, no, wait, something like that. Okay, so you can cut out all of that clutter when speaking with Wispr Flow. For example, I want you to create a prompt. This prompt will be able to initialize the MERN project. Now, I want you to use, no, wait, not use. Actually, I want you to set up the zoo stand as the state management. Okay, so you know what? Zoo stand might actually be not really that great. I think I'll stick with the classic. I want you to use Redux Toolkit instead. Okay, so it written this out. Okay, I want you to create a prompt. This prompt will be able to initialize the MERN, MERN, okay, MERN project. I want you to set up the state management with Redux Toolkit instead. ZooStand might actually be not really that great. It messed up a little bit here because I think it just didn't really understand what I meant by ZooStand because it spelled it out in two different words. So I'll just remove that part. I think I'll stick with the classic. Okay, so it didn't really understand what ZooStand is, and this is where the dictionary part comes in. You could have specified what ZooStand meant. Okay, so for example, if I go back here, go back here, and here I'll just mention the word ZooStand. And I'll also add the word toolkit, okay? So I've added these two words in. So here, I want you to initialize a MERN stack project. For the state management, I want you to use ZooStand. No, wait. I want you to use Redux Toolkit. And now let's look at this. So I want you to initialize a MongoDB Express React and Node stack project, okay, for the state management. I want you to use Redux Toolkit. Okay, so you saw me speak and you saw me change from ZooStand to Redux Toolkit. Okay, and Wispr Flow was smart enough to understand, okay, ZooStand, you meant not zoo and stand, but ZooStand. Okay, and it changed it with Redux Toolkit. So it understood because I put it in the dictionary what Redux Toolkit is. Okay, and if I cut this out, if I put it here, I'm gonna do this. And as you can see, this has understood what I was trying to say. So create a merge stack project, open a terminal in that folder, run git init. So you can tweak this a little bit. You wouldn't put in open a terminal in that folder. Actually, let's look at this. So backend, make, then follow these steps. Okay, you can change this from open a terminal to in the terminal in that folder, or if you're already in technically that folder, so in this folder, run git init, then follow these steps. So for the backend, it's basically saying make server and cd into the server. Install express mongoose course.env, npm install, then save node one. Okay, create the file name server.js. And actually, it's pretty good. It's pretty accurate. And mongoose URI, the package JSON, add a script. Dev, node monitor. Yes, okay. Wow, this is actually not that bad. It's pretty good. Front end, React, Redux toolkits, cd back to the project root, npx create React app client, cd into the client itself, npm install at redux.js/toolkit. Okay, so this is actually not bad. So looks like it did a good job. I'm not going to read through all of this, but I'm going to assume it's done a good job. And you could just then click this copy button and go here and just paste this in. Okay, and it would run everything. But do read this. Actually, I'll open up the app itself. Go into Sketchpad. Okay, so this, it looks like you can save these. Good. So I'll get rid of this one and I'll change this to Mern Stack project setup. Okay. And you can see that it's now Mern Stack project setup. So let me just show you another thing. So in the pages, we have home.tsx, right? So maybe I want to check something in this page. For example, let's say I want to check if there is a fetch data function. So I would basically tell the AI some kind of prompt, but this is what I want to show you. So the thing that I want to show you in this is that it will be smart enough to understand that there is a folder called pages, and inside of it, there is a home.tsx file. So normally what you do with AI is you just drag and drop this in. So one way is doing it like this, and the other one is you do at, and then you do something like this, and it finds the home page. It knows where it is. So I'm going to do something similar, but with Wispr Flow. So here I go. Look at my home.tsx file and see if there is a function called fetch data and see whether it is using Axios or not. So as you can see, it's saying that look at my home.tsx file. So it was able to write the name of the file itself. And if there is a function called fetch data, so it was able to see the correct name. So as you can see, it is small letters and then the capital D. So it was able to figure out fetch data from this and see whether it is using Axios or not. So it was able to also figure out Axios is a Node.js package that I'm using in this. Okay. And you can ask it something else as well. Check my app.tsx file and also index.css file. Also look at my main.tsx file. So my app.tsx file, also index.css file, also look at my main.tsx file. Okay, so it was able to get the file names. So there is another thing called whisper mode or something like that, where if you speak very softly or in a very low tone, it should be able to figure out what you're trying to say. For example, I will say something like, how many files and folders do I have inside of this project? Let's say something like that, and I'll whisper it. So here I go. How many files and folders do I have inside of this project? Oh, it actually got it. How many files and folders do I have inside of this project? It actually got it. I'm actually surprised by that. I haven't tried that one yet, but it looks like it works. I guess they don't call it Wispr Flow for nothing. I'm actually surprised by the last one. The other ones make sense, in my opinion. This last one was actually surprising. It was good enough. I actually want to try one more thing. I'm going to say I want to look at my home.tsx file, but I want to whisper it so I can confirm if it is able to get something like that, like the home.tsx. So let me try and whisper that. I'm going to say I want to look at my home.tsx file, but I'm going to whisper it. I want to look at my home.tsx file. I want to look at my home.tsx file. It actually works. Wow. It is even able to understand file names. Okay, I'm surprised. But this was Wispr Flow. I'll be using it in future projects. You can look forward to that. So this was how to use Wispr Flow. So I really like this thing where you can just speak in. Just speaking in ends up making it quicker. So this is it for the Wispr Flow tutorial. I hope you like this one. Like and subscribe to stay updated on the latest tutorials, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.